you feel sorry for the man in my life. Well, the man in my life feels my tits, so he's probably doing rather a lot better than you, actually. But seriously, I actually receive comments like this all the time, so I want to talk a little bit about some of the mechanisms behind the arguments these guys make because I am a strident feminist and I talk a lot online publicly about, patriarchal harms and exploitation of women and misogyny. So that must mean obviously I am a man hater, and also it means that no man would desire me, right? Which, like, I could easily prove is not true, but that would be accepting the premises of their argument, which I am not going to do. And those premises, I think, are twofold, so let's go into them. Firstly, it's that any woman with strong socio political opinions, particularly those regarding men's systemic exploitation of women, must by default be unattractive to men, which is just patently untrue in my experience and probably that of most feminists. In fact, women like me are catnip to certain species of men, whether we view that as a positive or not. And the second part of the premise of this kind of comment is that it matters whether men have a good opinion of women or not, which it doesn't, and certainly not to me. Like, these men don't seem to have gotten the message that we're decentering men now. For thousands of years, patriarchy has forced women to revolve their lives around men's needs and ambitions and opinions for our own safety and the provision of things like housing and food and other necessities. But so now that women are finally economically and legally empowered enough that we don't have to have a man in our lives, we don't actually have to care what men think of us. And I think this really speaks to the way that men are socialized under patriarchy to objectify women by default. And what I mean about that is that men are, in essence, trained to look at us and see either the utility that we can provide to them or just our attractiveness to them. Which is why they come to believe that if our, say, feminist belief system opposes us giving them what they want from us, they assume we otherwise have no value. And this is why guys like Mike here can assume that the men in my life don't value my belief system and don't appreciate the way that it challenges their patriarchal upbringing. But they do. I have an extraordinary circle of brilliant men in my life, starting with my boyfriend, who, as I record this today, I'm celebrating my 6th anniversary with. But even if I didn't have a boyfriend, that wouldn't validate his claim that feminism is somehow antithetical to being in community with men. But for the record, far from having to just put up with my feminist rage, my boyfriend regularly tells me that it's actively one of the things that he likes about me.